start the meeting, starting with general business. Anyone have any general comments? Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Claire Fleming, Warren Lane. I'm here with my neighbors, and we just wanted to voice our concern regarding the Warren Avenue project, and from the site walk on the 19th and the meeting on the 20th, with the idea to decouple the easement move from the project. We have some concerns with just the general safety of the area, and removing that aspect from the project. Feel that they kind of go hand in hand, especially introducing more residential aspect to the area when there's so much heavy commercial activity still going on in the area, with that increasing as well. I know that a letter was sent to you this morning.
It's in the packets that you have. It's kind of toward the.
And you email them to us as well.
I think so.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And this subject has been discussed mostly through the month of July when the first plan was released, and it has become a bit of a contested issue within the neighborhood, specifically with people who actually don't live in the neighborhood, so because the actual residents are in support of some sort of a traffic mitigation, specifically with moving that easement in order to calm the traffic that comes through. A neighbor letter was given to the trust specifying which designs, since there were two designs that were presented, and it was further discussed at the Board of Selectmen's meeting on July 29th, and there was a compromise reached on the second plan that you were given, I think, on July 23rd. So I think it's been consistent with the neighborhood and the residents that live there that there is an issue that we would really very much like to see the trust follow through with the plans that they were doing. And so I think that's our biggest concern that we just wanted you to know. I don't think we were able to communicate that effectively during the site walk.
If the traffic mitigation takes place simultaneously with the affordable housing project, do you care who's in charge of the traffic mitigation? Does it matter?
We feel very strongly that good design means that I am Joan Meyer from 13 Warren Lane. We feel strongly that good design dictates that the entire project itself be considered, and that includes the ways in which the parking for the new units is planned, the driveways serving those parking spots, and how that will interact with the traffic on Warren Lane. The decoupling makes no sense. So when you talk about separating and who's in charge, we need to be clear about precisely what you mean.
Well, one possibility that occurred to me, and I'm just one person, but it occurred to me, is that if the planning board, as it offered to do at the last meeting, actually did a traffic impact study of the area, including contributions from projects that are not directly related to the affordable housing component, such as overlays. If we had a picture of how the traffic really operated, as opposed to anecdotal descriptions, then we could arrive at a solution based on observations and the recommendations of an expert in the area of traffic evaluation and remediation.
I think I understand that point, and if you take that step, we would strongly ask that it not be decoupled with the affordable
But I
housing
don't
unit.
understand
So-
why. If you're taking that step, why not have, for example, a parallel study? Let me just finish my statement. Why not have a parallel resolution of the traffic problem overseen by the selectmen and the planning board as opposed to the Affordable Housing Trust?
But how can you do so when the architects who have spent a lot of time thinking about this and have a lot of experience and do this as a normal part of their jobs, how can you separate out their design plans with the location of the drives and the parking spots for those units from looking at, as you say, the total impact? Because the architects have to make a fundamental decision about siting of those driveways and parking spots. That's part and parcel with their proposal for moving the easement and addressing issues of heavy truck traffic and bus turnaround.
Well, now you're coming into my particular area of expertise as a licensed architect that's practiced for 40 years. So I have a little bit of knowledge of how these things work. The site planning for the affordable housing components is modifiable, but I think that means that what may be shown on the site plans now, if the traffic study suggested that a modification of those layouts would be in order, would not be, I wouldn't imagine, a difficult problem for an architect and a civil engineer to resolve fairly quickly. But it seems to me that the real threat, maybe it's not a threat, but the real impact that you're concerned about is not so much from the affordable housing part as from the Ogilvy's part. Is that a correct assessment?
The Ogilvy's has been an issue and has been increasing the amount of trucks. But we also have the added impact of added more units. We have a rail trail. We have increasing business on Ogilvy's. So we have more coming.
Well, how would changing the easement resolve your concerns with the affordable housing piece?
Because the easement would mean that instead of having the trucks intersect
It's
where the
Ogilvy's.
driveways.
It's the Ogilvy's piece.
I'm
If there were
sorry,
no
no,
Ogilvy's,
wait a minute.
if there were
You
no
let me
Ogilvy's
speak.
piece,
Please, don't
Okay.
interrupt. But the current trucks enter on the existing curve of Warren Avenue. That's also where the driveways for the affordable units will all converge. Right now there is a tight circle. There's no separation of the driveways coming in and the Ogilvy's truck traffic coming in. What the architects suggested was that the easement be moved so that the truck traffic come in further down Gun Club Lane. And so you remove that tight circle of all the traffic entering in one spot where the school bus also presumably would be stopping.
Why?
And you shift that.
Why?
Why is there a tight circle?
Why would the school bus have to do that? For example,
Well,
I mean, just
here
throw
we're
something
talking
out.
about,
Just
one thing
throwing-
I don't
it's another
understand
piece
is
in the
why
puzzle.
the planning board should make a change to a process that's been carefully considered by.
We're suggesting a change, but again, another piece of this puzzle is what to do about the school bus turnaround.
Yes,
What
and
if
that's
the-
been addressed in the architect's proposal.
Well, it has, but not completely, because the architect is also, the architect for the affordable housing piece is a little hamstrung because his scope only extends to that part of the overall puzzle. It doesn't, he can't address the Ogilvy's puzzle. What if, for example, just throw it out there, what if the town, and the trust can't do this, but the selectmen could negotiate the turnaround on the Ogilvy's piece, the bus turnaround. Just throwing it out there. Why would you need to realign the easement to take into account the school buses when the buses could just drive up the easement, turn around, and come back on an open area that already exists? Why not?
I don't think that's feasible.
Why?
Well,
Why?
Because the Pure Solutions warehouses proposed for exactly where you are suggesting the bus could turn around.
Maybe not. The Ogilvy's is asking the town to conduct site plan review on a parcel where there are some significant issues to resolve. One of those is that the parcel has no frontage. Another is that the parcel is a mixed-use parcel, so it's non-conforming with respect to use. A third issue that we've discovered is that the parking layout proposed by Ogilvy so far doesn't conform with the town's parking regulations in that they have to have stacked parking in order to make it work. A fourth one that we've discussed with Ogilvy's is that we want to be sure about the septic handling, how they're going to handle the septic disposal. And so there are negotiations with Ogilvy's that wouldn't necessarily involve the affordable housing component. Ogilvy's is looking for the town to help them. In exchange, the Ogilvy's might be willing to work with the town to resolve some of the issues on the table. I'm just saying. The trust doesn't have the ability to make that kind of negotiation. The selectmen do. The planning board does. So I'm saying if the two run parallel with each other, then there's a wider possibility for a resolution that's satisfactory on all sides than if the trust itself is saddled with trying to resolve everything, but only has a certain part of the puzzle pieces with which to work. That's all I'm saying. It may be that the easement in the end would be where it's shown, moved to the location or something like it that was worked out with the trust. It may or maybe not, but there are more possibilities for flexibility with a parallel solution than if the trust itself has to bear the whole burden for resolving the traffic problems when it doesn't have all the pieces. That's all I'm thinking.
I'm wondering, I mean, from your letter and from what I've been hearing, maybe I would have assumed that in a situation like this that involves a number of different parties, the town, Ogilvy's, the tenants that are renting areas, the trust, that there would be a comprehensive plan developed, under some leadership, so that before anything was finalized, that there was a plan that looked at how the whole thing fit together.
And my point is that the trust doesn't have that kind of
Our
authority.
frustration.
But the town
The
certainly
town
does.
does, the selectmen do,
Yeah.
the planning board does.
Our concern as a neighborhood is that if we go ahead and say, let the affordable housing continue on their own track, that the whole mitigation that we need for the traffic is going to fall by the wayside. So what we're really looking for tonight is some guarantee that says it will not fall by the wayside and that we will be listened to and that there will be some design that will go forward. Because if this goes to town meeting and then the traffic does not get resolved at town meeting, then we're left high and dry and affordable housing went through without any mitigation. And that's what we're concerned about tonight.
Could I have your name, please?
Oh, sorry, Rebecca Gardner, Warren Place.
What I would say is, as long as I'm chairman of the planning board, as long as I'm on the planning board, I guarantee the traffic situation will get resolved. And my intention would be to resolve it in tandem with the affordable housing piece. It's just that we have more leverage than the trust does to affect, I think, a better outcome. We can look at the bigger picture, we can look at all the puzzle pieces and try to put them together with the selectmen. The trust only has part of the leverage. And so I think the town's working with one hand tied behind its back if the trust is responsible for resolving all of the pieces on its own. That's all.
One final piece is we've been very frustrated because we've talked to various town committees, and it almost seems like there's a balkanization where one committee will say, this is not our charge, another the selectman will say, we have no authority. Now, if you can give us the guarantee, that would go a long way. Because you are the first person.
We got to do site plan approval. We have
It
to
would
do
be
a traffic
conditional
study
site plan
anyway.
approval.
We have to do a traffic study anyway. So we might as well look at the whole picture. When we would need to do that anyway with the affordable housing piece, the background traffic generated by the neighborhood, and the Ogilvy's piece today and tomorrow. That's a study that we know we have to do anyway. So then we start from the basis of facts and an educated projection of what the impacts are now and in the future. And then we can, I think we can work with the selectmen to come up with a resolution that people can really live with. It's not based on anecdote, but based on fact and real expert opinion. That's my goal.
Which sounds like it was your goal. You came in initially saying, can you please view this project as a totality? And I was just saying, yes, we can. But before you do that, we need to do a traffic study.
So do you want me to talk with Donna about getting MDM involved?
I think we should just hire MDM. Just tell her we're going to hire MDM in connection with the Ogilvy's proposal, and we need to get facts with respect to traffic impacts, and we hire them, and let's get them started.
I think it's a consensus of the board
Absolutely, yeah.
to.
I mean, we don't need her permission to do that.
Go forward with it, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Feel better?
Much better.
Good. Thank goodness. Good.
Thank you.
So, okay.